about the breaths you take, but about what takes your breath away. Are you living the kind of life that takes your breath away? Not breathless. I mean, you want to be like that when? You want to be short of breath when? When you're exercising. If you can have a good old conversation, okay, but if you can sing while you're exercising, you're not exercising. You're just moving around a little bit. Remember that. I had the opportunity to do a lot of work with people who don't have what we have. I've worked in refugee camps around the world. I've had the opportunity to work in 57 countries. Now that's important because I grew up in High Point, North Carolina. I grew up as a woman in 1954. You're saying that can't be right. She could be, she meant 64, maybe 74, but honey, you know, you know how it is, black don't crack, baby. Now I say that because, you know, we black women look really good, but we are melting on the inside. You heard those statistics that 1 in 3 white women have heart disease, but nearly half of black women have heart disease. So sisters, what we gonna do about that? We're gonna get up, we're gonna get to moving, we're gonna do better, we're gonna do the things that take our breath away. Now, working in a refugee camp in Ghana in 2004, I was working, imagine this. Think about a place where 75,000 people live in an area that's a mile square. We're not talking high rises. No electricity. No running water. No paved roads. I was there to help with a vision project where I was hoping to help people regain their sight, sometimes just as simply as giving them some glasses. Because for those of you who have hit that 40 plus range, when you go to the restaurant, you keep wishing that your arms would get longer, but it doesn't really work out. So imagine if you had to escape with your life because invaders were coming, people who thought you weren't good enough, whether it's because of your religion or your politics, living in the wrong place. You're not going to think about getting your glasses. You're just going to try to survive with your life. Helping to get cardiac health involved with people who were so stressed out, to get them to just take a breath for a minute, trying to get them to just think about living better. So I was working really hard. I went for 12 weeks to Africa when I started having hot flashes, y'all. Let me say that no air conditioning thing was a problem. I would wake up in the morning and I would think, okay, visualize an iceberg. That worked for about 30 seconds and the sweat started to roll, but I was working really hard trying to get as many people as possible taken care of, as many people set up to have a better life. And I was working real hard one day. And I was coming back at the end of about 12 hours, working sometimes in an outdoor camp, so outside for 12 hours in the African sun. You know, I was looking more and more like my sisters, you know what I mean? Y'all don't, that means I was getting black about it that. I was walking on down the road and this little kid comes up and says, "Obolo, Obolo, Obolo." So I say to my translators, what's he saying? Oh, God. You know it's out of the mouths of babes and the translators don't want to tell me, so you know it's a problem. So I say, come on. What is he saying? She says, he's calling you fat. I felt a little bit bad because I thought I had walked off a couple pounds or sweated off a few pounds. By the time I got back to my housing, I asked my landlady, you know, what was going on and why would he call me fat? And she says, well, because you're fat. Okay. That's that denial we get in, y'all. I was saying curvaceous, you know. She said, because you're fat. And I said, but he hurt my feelings. She said, well, It's okay, because here, when you're fat, what it means is that someone loves you enough to feed you. I'm saying I got a lot of self-love going on. Maybe a little bit too much. I said, okay. She said, don't worry. It's actually a compliment. Okay, all right, so I got it. A few weeks later, I'm walking down. The same little kid comes back. I'm like, could you go kill that child? He comes up, he says, Obola Obroni, Obola Obroni, Obola Obroni. I said, okay, I got the Obola part. What else is he saying? She just shakes her head. Oh, God. I said, come on, you got to tell me. She says, he's saying you're the fat white woman. I'm here to tell you that I've been called a whole lot of things in my life. But white is not one of them. So now I am confused. And I go back to my landlady and I say, okay, so I got the fat part. I got that these are refugees who haven't eaten well, and yeah, I'm big. But white? She says, well, the word is the same word as stranger. And even though you consider yourself one of us, he does not. And I started to say, well, what do I need to do to stop being a stranger? She said, you need to do more things that show that you're not just about work, that you're not just about the things you have to do, and about, the shortness of breath you're getting by rushing around, but about the things that take your breath away. I was not celebrating with them. I was just busy trying to plan the next clinic, to get the next person for the eye surgery, to get the next person to a doctor that might be 50 to 100 miles away. I was working on what I always did, getting the work done. But I wasn't taking care of me. And they could see it, because I was sure enough exhausted. It's a good thing, because I couldn't have slept through that heat otherwise, y'all. I had to be that tired that it didn't matter, Because at home, my temperature goes down to 58 in my house at night, because yeah, some of y'all like, me too. How many of you can feel me? Yeah, poor husbands, that's all I can say. But it's all about balance. It's about balance. We might work hard, but at the end of the day, if we die, guess what? Somebody else is going to do that job. We want to do our jobs. We want to do them really well, but we want to make sure that during that time, we're balanced. We're taking care of ourselves, because we only have one life. Many of you have on red today. You have your red dress, and you only wear it today because you feel like it's too much. It's too fiery. It's too passionate. But I challenge you to wear that red more often, to embrace it, to think about your hearts every time you wear it, and to make sure that you're doing more and more to have a better life. Because these things are what you need in your life. I consider joy to be those moments that are wonderful, that make you smile, whether it is those cute little puppy videos or the smile of a newborn baby. But happiness is about having it all. It's about knowing every day when you get up that you're living the best life that you have, that you are taking the time for yourself and taking care of you so you can be around for those events later, so that you can see your child graduate, see your first grandchild born, or take that trip of a lifetime. Sometimes it's about sacrifice, because I sacrificed to get here, y'all. Because Sarah Fideli called me up and said, Valda, are you busy on February 1st? I said, girl, I'm going to be in a yacht in the British Virgin Islands. Thank you, baby, because I love Sarah. And I said, well, I don't know why I love to talk about women's health, but I don't know if I love y'all that much. But I worked it out. So I got on a small plane and a big plane and another small plane, a ferry, a taxi, and I got here to see y'all today. Because I have decided in my life I'm going to put that shovel down. That shovel that we use to dig ourselves deeper and deeper holes of the busy stuff we think we have to do. Put it down. So what is health? And what is the secret to health? It is knowing about these things, the symptoms of heart disease in women. It can be different. We're expecting to have that crushing pain, that pressure on the chest, but for women, very often we have these symptoms. It can just be a little nausea. It can be some tingling in our jaw. The thing is, trust yourself. If you know something is wrong, believe it. If you go to a healthcare practitioner who doesn't pay attention to you, go to another one. Find someone who is listening to you, who is a partner with you, not just someone who's thinking you don't meet the criteria based on these things. Now, diabetes is something that many of you know about. How many of you know somebody with diabetes? That's pretty much everyone in here, because it is one of the things I'm going to talk about more in detail. But diabetes is an increased risk factor. We know smoking, right? We know about inactivity, menopause, broken heart syndrome. That just makes me so sad. But these are things that can put you at increased risk. So diabetes I'm going to talk about, because we know about heart disease and diabetes, and most people don't put the two together. And I think they can be the two most misunderstood things as it relates to health in women. 32 million people in the United States have diabetes, and that's considering that we have about 340 million people. The 32 million even is people who know about it, but that many more may not know they have it. Now, what is diabetes? It is when insulin works with what you bring in your body to create energy and put it in the cells the way it's supposed to. So if you look on the left, when your body is healthy, those little sugar cubes, we'll say sugar, gets into the cell at the bottom, and it's like a battery. It fills up. It's just like your phone. When you plug it in, you want to see how much power you have. But when you have diabetes, and type 2 diabetes, where you have insulin that's produced but it's not working well, then at the bottom you see on the right side that there's no power going in those cells. That's why a lot of people with diabetes figure it out, because they're so tired. They just feel tired. So if you have a lot going on, you're working, you're going to school, you're in that sandwich generation, taking care of parents and children, don't accept that tired is normal. When you can give yourself a break and take a full day off and you still wake up tired, that is a signal that it is more than simple fatigue. That is when you need to get to somebody. So imagine this. Let me tell you about diabetes. How many of you have seen fresh motor oil when it first goes in? You ever seen it? It's clear, it's amber, it looks good. Have you seen it when it comes out? Think of your blood the same way. When your blood sugar is working like it should be, you got that nice, clear, good flow going through. When your body is not doing what it should, that means extra sugar is going into your vessels. What it does is it can injure the inside of the blood vessel, which sets you up for plaque formations, which sets you up for blockages, which can cause a heart attack or a stroke. Now, the blood vessels in the body are as large as the thumb, or as small as what? Anybody know? Hair. Actually, as small as a third the size of a human hair. Now, the same blood is going through all the vessels, and that is why many times with diabetes, you end up with gangrene of the feet, you end up with tingling in your hands, and you lose your sight, because those little tiny vessels have more injury faster from that blood. That's why we want to do a better job. Okay, because you can have heart disease, vision loss, or kidney disease. All of that means that what's going on inside your blood vessels affects you. This is a way that you can help decrease the likelihood of cardiovascular disease. How can you do it? Get up out the chair. Get to moving. Meditate.